Gundam.tk presents Gundam Exia Repair Mode. Hey everybody, Robert184 from Gundam.tk, and this is Master Grade Gundam Exia Ignition Mode. And if you've checked out the first 5 parts of the review, yeah, that's a lot I know, but you can see regular Exia. But what's really cool about the Ignition Mode is it also gives you all the parts you need to make Exia Repair. Now to make Exia Repair, you're going to get a cape, a broken sword, parts for the head, and a few additional parts that are scratched up and broken. And basically, here's how it looks when it's all put together. So now, how do you make the repair? Well, when you're following through the instructions, every once in a while you're going to find information like down here, where with the 2 yellow fins that you put onto the chest, it'll say up here that you don't attach it if you're making it into repair. So the problem is later when you're transforming it, you're going to have to go through, reread the directions, and try to find all of the little changes you're supposed to make. So what are the changes that you have to make? Well, here are the leftover parts that when I've turned it from regular Exia into repair mode, this is what you're left with. Of course you've got an arm, a shield, the regular blade, but you've got a million small parts for the head that you have to be pretty careful with. Working from bottom to top with the changes you have to make, the ankles are very simple. You pop the ankle guard off on both legs. Next you can see on the right that we have a kneecap there, and very simply you pull the kneecap off on the left leg, which takes no time at all. Now here's one problem when you're actually choosing whether to make this into repair mode or the regular Gundam, is underneath this clear lens, you take off the green lens when you put it in repair mode, but there should be this gray sticker which sort of looks like the mechanical workings of the knee joint, so Setsun, I guess, doesn't have time to paint on cool lines. But the problem is that I've taken this from regular mode and put it into repair, and I'd have to cover up that sticker with this gray sticker, but then when I put it back into regular mode, it would be hard to take off the stickers and keep them looking good. So you basically have to choose from the very start which sticker you want to put on. Another complaint about taking off this green panel is it does a good job of keeping everything in place, because otherwise this clear part tends to fall out a lot. So you're going to have to be careful of that, because if it falls out and you don't notice it, it's easy to misplace. When you're moving up, this is the first thing that you have to do that's actually going to take some time, but you'll see on the right here that it's missing the front, and you're going to have to pull off the front of the waist to pop that out. So you can keep the legs on to do it, but it might be easier to take them off. On the chest, instead of having a nice blue gate, and inside, I don't think I showed this off, but you can see a very tiny Setsun FC, is you replace the nice blue one with this ugly gray one, which has some pre-made scratch marks on there, which I just threw some black lining into. On the chest, besides pulling off the gray part, there are 2 major changes. One being here, you pull out this blue piece and you take out the yellow fin. And in addition to that, here's my biggest complaint of the day, is that you have to take off this yellow piece. Well, the problem was that when I did that, the bottom broke off. And so all of a sudden now, I have a broken yellow panel up here, because once you put it on, it's not really made to be taken off. So Bandai could have thought that through a little more, and I'll be ordering a replacement part. Of course, on the right arm, you're going to have the GN sword that you take off the clean plate and replace it with this scratched up one. And of course, the biggest difference is that you have to take the gun apart to take out the regular blade, in this case because it's ignition mode, it's the silver make, and replace it with this broken white one. Besides the sword on the right arm, it's impossible to miss that you take off the right arm completely and you replace it with a cape, and the cape has 2 moving pieces. You can see the ball joints in there. This front part and the back part move independently, but if you move them too much, they're easy to fall off. But overall, you can still pull off some good poses with that. Of course, besides the broken sword, the cape arm, the head is the real winner here of ignition mode. And when you take a look at it, the big differences is basically the whole right side has been completely half demolished. But to do that, you're going to have to completely rebuild the head from the start, and that took me a fair bit of time. It's got a cool side panel that you can put some black lining in. The red eye does not light up, it's just a red sticker. There's a silver sticker at the top, and things like this piece at the back is broken, the mouth guard is broken, the eye sticker, there's only one of them, and this red piece is broken. So they really put a lot of effort into designing the head of the Exia Repair, and I think that's sort of what makes, that's sort of what sells it as it's really a broken Gundam. And yes, it never hurts to put in the GN drive, but in this case, I don't know why, but because he's in repair mode, just the idea of him having bright lights just seems a little bit strange. And it makes me think that if I do buy a second Exia, for sure I would put the light unit not in the ignition mode, but I'd put it into the regular one. Once you've got all of the changes made, here is what Exia Repair looks like from top to bottom. And the spin around. And if you watched the beginning of Gundam 00 Season 1, and you were expecting to see the 00 Gundam right away, I don't know how you felt about seeing the Exia Repair, but I thought it was a really nice addition by Bandai. And it sort of added to the expectation when we got to see 00 one episode later. So here's the Repair family with high-grade Exia Repair 2 on the right, and there really are a lot of differences, namely in the fact that the legs are changed, and so are the arms, so that they have a lot less of the purple or the see-through parts here. And just in general, the position of the beam sabers and things like that have changed, besides the biggest addition of the green blade. So we have a master grade now of Exia and Repair 1. I wonder in the future, with Bandai's love of making similar kits with just a few new plates, if we'll see a Repair 2. But I have to say that I would be suckered into it, and I would probably buy it if they do. Now, like with the regular Exia, because you're hardly changing anything to do with the posability, nothing has really changed at all. So you're still able to pull off a bunch of cool poses, and you can see down there this clear part just fell out. So again, that's something that's a little bit annoying about this. One big complaint I have to make about Exia in general, and this applies to repair mode and the regular one, is the waist joint here that you attach under there to put it on the stand is terrible. And I've already had Exia topple 2 or 3 times. So Bandai, you could have put on a much more stable attachment, especially if you're giving a custom part with the kit. Of course, once you put them up in the air, you're hardly limited with what you can do, and all of a sudden the cape really starts to look good because you can have it sort of bellowing off as he flies towards you. And the angry sword looks really good up and half broken, and the eye really starts to stand out. So now some final thoughts on Gundam Exia Repair mode. And first of all, I think that was one of the real reasons that I wanted to buy the Ignition mode, was besides the silver make and the green LEDs, which are a great touch, just being able to make it into repair mode. I remember episode 26 of Gundam 00 and saying, wow, what I was thinking was, once I got the master grade, is I'd turn my 1/100th into a repair mode. But thanks to Bandai, you don't have to go around and messing up your own kits to do that, because they give you the option. So probably my biggest complaint though about the Exia Repair is that it's not really a transformation. You have to do a fair bit of work to turn it from the regular Exia into the Repair. Especially you have to take apart the head, which has a lot of parts, and really gut it to put in the repair parts. So if you think it's something that can be done quickly, it's not. I'd estimate about half an hour for you to change this from regular Exia into the Repair. The real question, I guess, is once you've built Repair and got it in a good pose, you'll probably want to keep both it and the regular one on your shelf. And I think that this is good for Bandai, because I have to say that having this in repair mode has made me want to buy one of each, so that you can keep them both on display simultaneously. So here's Repair 1, to which Granddaddy Gundam, well, in this case standing in for the O Gundam, says, well, you know what, I'm not actually scared, because you don't have a green sword yet. Once you're repair 2, then come talk to me. And yeah, now he's worried. But these are high grades, of course, and you can check out those reviews too. So thanks again everybody for checking this out, and don't forget to check out lots more reviews at www.gundam.tk.